Alright, hello and welcome everybody back to the video. I'm your SimCFI. I hope everyone's doing fine and thank you for stopping by. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm a rural CRJ pilot for the CRJ 900 for a North American carrier. And in saying that, I also love flight simming. I've been doing it for about 13 years in DCS, X-Plane, P3D, and now Microsoft as well. So if you guys have any questions on real world flying or flight sim flying, I might be able to answer it if you leave the comment down below in the description. Today we are doing a bit of a different video, and I've been getting a lot of questions on my settings slash visuals of the sims. I've taken my years of flight simming, not expertise, but experience, and other tips and tricks that my friends like CST Gaming and Flight Sim Gaming have given me, and applied it to this video, and these are the settings I currently run. We're going to start with one that I don't think a lot of people use, and you don't have to use it, but I like using it, and it's called Quick CPU. And Quick CPU, basically all I do with it is I make sure that my CPU is set to high performance. And then the other thing that I find major for Flight Simulator is I have my policy for normal and short threads set to prefer performant processors. So I'm not completely getting rid of all the cores, but I'm just telling it I'd like you to prefer the performance processor cores. That's it. I press apply, that goes away, and it's set for life for the most part, and I put it away. So that's the first thing I use. The other thing I use is auto FPS, which looks like this. These are my settings. I have expert options clicked. I have the test function clicked, so we have the latest update. The FPS target is 80, and then I have it set to FPS cap, and then you can copy these settings: 100, 200, 150, 10,000. You could just copy those. That's exactly what I do. I'm actually going to unclick auto increase clouds. I don't want that to change. Okay, that's the second thing I use. The third thing, if you navigate to the bottom right where that little check mark is on your screen, so I have an ultra wide monitor, so it's hard to show you, but all the way on the right, we're going to right click our Nvidia control panel and bring that up. And I'll bring it down here. If you go to program settings, and make sure it says Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. If you can't find it, press add. If you can't find it in this list, you'll press browse. Then go to where it's installed. So for me, it's the D drive, then Xbox games, Microsoft 2024 content, and then it'll be this guy. Sometimes it's this one as well, but either one is, you can try either one there. And what I've done in here is I have my low latency mode set to ultra, and my power management mode set to max performance. Now, something you may have noticed, you come over here, that I don't have. If I right click Nvidia, you guys might have GeForce Experience or Nvidia app. I'm going to tell you right now to make sure you update to the most current version of Nvidia. Do an Nvidia cache clean using, I like to use Easy Gamer Utility. So I'll just show you this real quick. I'll run this. I clean them all, even though I don't use Steam, but I clean EA, clean all that, and at the bottom, clean Nvidia. All right, so get the most up-to-date driver, clear the cache, and then uninstall Nvidia app. This is the one that CST Gaming gave me. He said to uninstall an Nvidia app sometimes helps people, and for me, it did really help. So be sure to uninstall the Nvidia app and see if you get better performance. I was getting much better performance with the Nvidia app uninstalled. Some other things, hardware acceleration, I like to have that turned on for me. Some people like it turned off, some people like it turned on. I kind of forget where it is. I think it's in graphics settings. And advanced, there it is. So hardware accelerated GPU scheduling. For me, my game runs worse with this off, so I keep this on as well. You can also check in here if it's set to high performance for yourself, but it doesn't really matter too much. Okay, Now, another thing I do to make sure the game runs pretty well, and I don't do this anymore, but you can try, is running process lasso and making sure the game is set to a high priority in the CPU scheduling. That one used to work, but I found it led to lag, but you can give it a try for yourself and see if it helps you as well. All right. Another tip you can use, which I'm not going to show in this video right now, but is with VATSIM. If you fly on VATSIM, there's a lot of traffic, especially if you're using the FSTL traffic. I downscale my traffic from 4K traffic to 1K traffic. Just look up on YouTube how to downscale VATSIM traffic to 1K. It'll pop up on how to do it. It's pretty simple. I might make a video on it as well, but there's a good one out there already. That's another tip I do. All right, let's go ahead and start the sim. And while the sim starts, I'll show you Rex Atmos Core. This is what's been giving me the better visuals. You guys have been saying on stream it looks better. A lot of people don't like it. I don't go crazy with it. I just use it as a bit of a glow up. And I have these favorited filters if the app actually allows me to work. I think it needs the game to run. So I'll wait till the game runs and I'll show you my favorited filters. But I love, I just got this and I've been loving what it does. It's pretty cheap and you just let it go in the background. I haven't noticed a significant FPS drop at all, and it just works in the background. So once the sim loads up, I'll edit forward and we will show you Rex Atmos a little bit. Okay guys, now while this sim loads up, another thing I like to do, if I go to the right hand side of the screen, I'm running Task Manager as well, but what I like to do is bring this little arrow up and close everything I'm not using. I'm not using CSS. I'm going to get rid of my wallpaper engine. I'm going to get rid of Steam. I don't need that. All right, so just get rid of stuff you don't need. I don't need Epic. So close all the stuff you're not going to use. All right guys, so now we're in the settings. Your full screen resolution is going to be set to the full screen of your monitor. I'm using TAA. I highly recommend using TAA and not DLSS, as DLSS will downscale your image and then use AI to re-upscale it, and when it does that, it has a lot of blurriness happening. AMD sharpening, I've been playing with this recently. I'm going to leave it at 140. I kind of just mess with it. Honestly, doesn't think it does too much, but I'll do 140 for the time being. Frame generation, actually let me go back up. Oh yeah, sorry, we are at the same time. Frame generation, there's a kind of complicated part on this. If you have a 40 series card and up, you can use Nvidia DLSS. What I recommend is downloading DLSS Swapper, run it as administrator, go down to Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, and make sure that we're set to the brand newest DLSS, frame gen, and FSR 3. Make sure that's set to the absolute newest one that you can possibly find. So I really recommend doing that as well. I'll leave all the links in the description, guys, by the way, as well. So if you're on an under a 40 series card, I've heard a lot of people having a lot of good stuff with AMD FSR 3. They've been having a lot of good results with that, and you can also maybe do an external DLSS. I think there used to be a frame gen mod that you can try if it doesn't work, but 40 series cards and up, just use Nvidia frame gen DLSS. It works just fine there. All right, so if we go down, dynamic settings are off because we're using auto FPS. Don't really need it. Terrain level of detail is 150. That gets changed with auto FPS as well. Make sure off-screen train pre-caching is ultra, so then it can load as much as possible in the background for you. I found this gives me minimal performance relief, but you can kind of play with this as much as you want. And then these are the settings I run. The big hitters here, if you're gonna lower anything, is these two are CPU intensive. So if you're having stutters, try reducing these to 100 and seeing if that makes it work for yourself, and you can use auto FPS to help you with that as well. But these are my settings, right? If I'm flying more IFR flights, I'll kind of turn this down. You don't really need grass at 35,000 feet, right? So you can just kind of turn these things down as you like. Clouds I like, texture I like up, so I leave those up. Anisotropic filtering I like up. Water's cool to see. Ray trace shadows, if you're on a 4090 or higher, you'll be able to run these well. On a 4080, while streaming, I still can't cut it. If I'm not streaming, I can run it pretty well, but while streaming, I can't cut it. Shadows are always a big killer as well, so I don't have them maxed out, but I don't have them too far lower either, so they're pretty okay. And everything. The reflections, ambient occlusion, windshield effects will be a draw on your GPU as well, so mediums to low if you're having some stutters, you can try. Depth of field, motion blur off. I don't like any of that kind of stuff. And then I turn all this garbage I call off. Characters to low, you know, low, I don't care. Airport services off. Anything I can go off, I'm going off. Park aircraft off. Airport traffic off, because we're using VATSIM, we don't need any of that. Road traffic I like. Sea traffic is okay, medium, and then fauna is medium as well. And that's it for that part. Alright guys, what you guys are looking at here is the sim with native default settings. And if we put in if we bring in Rex Atmos here, I'll be using my favorited settings. So I have 3 here that I love. You guys can look these up, and all I'm going to do is I have one for Enviro, one for Atmos, and one for Weather Set. And Aviation Bros actually made the channel art for this channel as well, so big thank you to him as well. So we'll press the little search icons for each. You can see it already made a nicer difference. We'll set it, but over here you guys can see the difference here. We're going to set the Atmos. Nicer blue back there, and then we're gonna set up our weather. Okay, and it just kind of makes everything kind of pop a bit more. So now we have weather, Enviro, and Atmos all set up, and that's what I do. Alright guys, so another tip, and we're just gonna be going through these real quick. My community folder doesn't have every single add-on I use. I actually have to clean this out a bit. There's kind of some stuff I don't use in here that I got to get rid of. But what I do is I run MSFS add-on linker. And basically what I've done is I've created an add-ons folder, and you can put it anywhere. I put it in the D drive, MSFS add-ons. I've sorted it between airplanes, airports, and then I don't know why I have FS Flight Control in there, but it's in there. And anything I download, airplane or airport wise, I'm gonna put in here. All my Canadian sceneries, all my Papua New Guinea, South American, US sceneries are all gonna go in there, and then I use this tool to either put in the sim or take out. Right now I have Latin VFRs Miami loaded. If I want it out of the sim, I click it out. Now it's out of my community folder. So I would suggest only fly. I know Mexico is not in South America, but I didn't want to make another category. Anyways, I would suggest only fly. Only put in your sim what you're going to be using / flying. So don't just you know, download everything in your community folder. It's okay if you have a couple things, but if you have, you know, a ton of add-ons, it's better just to do it this way, and it makes your life a lot easier. So MSFS add-on linker is a big help for everybody there as well. Hopefully, if you use it already, then you know what I'm talking about. Also makes reinstalling Windows a lot easier, because you can hopefully have Windows on a different drive and just reinstall your mods with this thing real quick. Alright guys, well thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm your SimCFI. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope this video helps. To all the channel partners and channel members, I thank you, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.